So there's this video that just completely took over the internet. It shows this single penguin, and it's just breaking away from its huge, noisy colony. It turns its back on everything, the ocean, its family, its entire world, and just starts walking towards this empty, desolate mountain range. And honestly, the world just watched, totally mesmerized and confused. And that's the question, right? The one that millions of people started asking online. I mean, it's a scene that feels almost human. It touches on these deep ideas of loneliness or maybe some final profound decision. But what was really going on inside this little creature's head? Well, that's the mystery we're going to try and unpack today. Here's how we're going to do it. First, we'll get into the story of the viral clip itself. Then, we'll explore the absolutely bizarre world these penguins call home. We'll even meet two very different types of penguins, look at the hard science behind the strange behavior, and finally, we'll ask a question that maybe science can't fully answer. You know, the craziest part about this whole thing? This footage isn't new. Not at all. It was actually shot by the legendary filmmaker Werner Herzog for his 2007 documentary, Encounters at the End of the World. He saw this happen with his own eyes and was just as stunned as the rest of us. Little did he know, almost 20 years later, this one little clip would just explode online. Okay, let's be super clear about what we're actually seeing here. For a penguin, the ocean is everything. It is their entire world, their grocery store, their lifeline. This penguin and Adelie made a deliberate turn away from all of that and headed straight for the Antarctic interior. We're talking 7,000 kilometers of nothing. Just ice, rock, and certain death. There was just no way it was going to survive that journey. And that kind of brings up an even bigger question, doesn't it? Why on earth would any creature choose to live in Antarctica? It seems like an impossible choice, a life sentence of just pure hardship. But for penguins, believe it or not, there's a brilliant logic behind it. To give you some perspective, temperatures here can plummet to minus 90 degrees Celsius. I mean, it is so ridiculously cold that if you throw a cup of boiling water into the air, it will literally freeze solid before it even hits the ground. It is, without a doubt, the most extreme place on our planet. So what's the secret? Well, that brutal, unforgiving cold is their greatest weapon. See, penguins can't fly, and on land, they're not exactly speed demons. Anywhere else in the world, their eggs would be a free lunch for predators. But in Antarctica, no land predators can survive that cold. The harsh climate itself becomes their shield, a fortress of ice that keeps their babies safe. But not all penguins in this icy kingdom are created equal. To really understand the world our lone penguin came from, we need to meet two of its most famous residents, the emperor penguin and the Adelie penguin. And let me tell you, their strategies for life, family, and survival could not be more different. These two are like night and day. On one side, you've got the emperor penguin. We're calling him the dad for a reason. He's the picture of ultimate sacrifice. On the other side, the Adelie, our penguin species. A clever, scrappy, and, well, mischievous little thief. One endures unimaginable hardship, while the other uses its wits to get by. Let's start with the emperor dad. It's just incredible. After the female lays her egg, she has to leave to go eat. So the male stands there in minus 60-degree blizzards for 4 straight months. No food, just balancing that one precious egg on his feet. He loses half his body weight, pushing himself to the absolute brink of survival, all to protect the next generation. It is just an unbelievable act of sacrifice. And then you have the Adelie, the kind of penguin from our video. They build nests out of stones. And in Antarctica, stones are basically like gold. A better nest means a better mate. So what's the quickest way to build an amazing nest? You steal. They are these cunning little thieves, constantly watching their neighbors, just waiting for that perfect moment to snatch a stone. They're social, they're hyper, and they live by their wits. Okay, so let's get back to our lonely traveler. We know it's a clever, social Adelie penguin. So what on earth could make it act so completely irrationally? Well, scientists have a theory, and they believe the answer lies in a failure of its incredible internal navigation system. Just think about this for a second. Penguins have a built-in GPS. It's amazing. They can literally sense the Earth's magnetic field, just like a compass. They use the sun, the stars, even the smell of the water to navigate hundreds of kilometers right back to their home colony. It's an unbelievably sophisticated system. But, you know, like any complex piece of tech, sometimes it can glitch. A brain infection, a parasite, or even something like extreme hunger or severe stress, Any of these things can cause that internal compass to just completely malfunction. The signals get crossed, and the penguin becomes hopelessly lost. So when this glitch happens, it's like the penguin can't even see what's right in front of it anymore. Not the ocean, not its colony, nothing. Its brain just gets locked onto one single wrong direction. It's not really making a choice at that point, it's just following a broken command, walking down a path that was fixed by neurological mistake. But is that the whole story? Just a simple biological glitch? I mean, the millions of people who watched that video, they felt something else. They didn't see a broken compass. They saw what looked like a broken heart. And there's actually scientific evidence out there to suggest they might not be totally wrong. Believe it or not, scientists have observed penguins experiencing what looks an awful lot like grief. When a chick dies, the parents don't just move on. They stay with the body. They make these sad, mournful calls. And sometimes their grief is so powerful, so overwhelming, that they'll even try to kidnap another penguin's chick, maybe to try and soothe their own loss. And that brings us right back to the beginning, to our final big question. The filmmaker, Werner Herzog, he didn't step in. He just respected nature. The penguin walked and walked until it just vanished into that white emptiness, to a fate we can only guess. Science gives us a perfectly logical explanation, a neurological misfire, a glitch. But knowing how deeply these creatures can feel loss, could it have been something more? A grief so profound that it simply broke the compass for good? What do you think?